No.
This is the April 5th, 2017 meeting of the Quincy Conservation Commission. Due to some illnesses, we do not have a full quorum today, so we can't hold a public hearing. We're going to wait a little bit. What we're going to do is we have a request for termination of applicability from the Boy Scouts. They're here. We can hear that even if we don't hold the vote until next week. So let's start with that, and hopefully we may have a fourth member. If not, we have to continue this. But so let's hear from the Squantum Marsh proposal. Who's here to speak for that? Hello? Come up and identify yourself.
Hello, so I am Nicholas M. Barcelo from Troop 24 in Quincy.
Yep. And what's your proposal? We have a project description. I think you came to a prior meeting or someone did to describe what generally what you're going to do. What is the proposal now?
Well, my proposal is that I'm going to be building an osprey nest. Like, you guys know where the Kennedy Center and the causeway is?
Yes.
We're planning on putting it on that side of the marsh.
Okay.
Near the Kennedy Center.
Across the road from the Kennedy Center, right? Or on the Kennedy Center side of...
No, across the street.
Across the street, yeah. Yeah, that's what we thought.
Near the other one.
Near the other one, okay.
There's like a narrow strip of land near the Kennedy Center that's owned by the city of Quincy.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. And is this an Eagle Scout project? Or?
Yes.
Okay. And who are you working with on this?
I am working with Troop 24.
Okay, and some of the other scouts? And,
Yes.
and do you also have someone, I think there's someone from the Department of Biology is assisting you from UMass Boston?
Yes.
Who's that?
Norman Smith, and he works at the Trailside Museum in Blue Hills.
Okay. And do we have an existing osprey nest there now? On that side?
Yes, it is on the other side of the road.
Okay, so this
So
is...
these are going to be opposite.
Yes,
opposite.
because
Okay.
they need to be at least 400 feet away.
I was going
So,
to ask you that.
Oh, okay, yeah, they don't want you...
yeah, so they're far enough away, so.
This is the plan that is prepared with the, based on the New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife. Do you want to tell us anything about that?
Yeah, so that's like the, kind of like the style of osprey nest we're going to be making.
And how do you have to, what is the maintenance of this? How often do you have to go down there to check it?
Well, there's not really much maintenance you have to do with osprey nests. Like, the osprey nests kind of just make their nest by themselves.
So, okay. Any questions from the board?
The only one I have, because I live right near there,
Yes?
and one day riding by, I saw a young man with a ladder, and he leaned it up, and he did go up and look into the nest.
The existing one?
Yeah, now, he's not supposed to be doing that, right? I don't think you're supposed to go near these nests.
Well, it depends on what time of, like, was it in the spring when,
It
like,
was the beginning, yeah.
yeah, I don't think that's actually allowed if the ospreys have already come to the nest, because that could scare off the ospreys, causing them to flee from the nest.
What is their season? When are they here?
Their season is basically like Marchish to like September, October, basically.
They're actually coming right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And when will you propose to put this up? When will?
I'm proposed to put this up in about May.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from?
Nope.
Anyone else have any comments or want to speak in favor or question? Okay. This is a request for determination, so we're going to hold it. We'll vote for it at our next meeting.
Okay.
But you don't have to make another presentation.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. No, we shouldn't. We can't vote without another person. So that's one that we can hold, and they were here to give their presentation. Anything else, because we don't have our fourth member, is gonna have to be for informational purposes. You know, familiar requests for determination of applicability are small projects. And unless, you know, it may be better just to continue that to our next meeting and hear from 1 to 3 Newport Ave, because that's a much bigger project.
He's not here anymore.
Oh, they're not here yet?
No.
Okay. How about the city of Quincy on the notice of intent for Willard Street?
Yeah,
Okay. But let me, before we do that though, you know, if you want to stay a little bit, but we haven't heard from
he's always here, so.
James, I know, Jim.
Yeah.
If you're here from the Edgewater Drive, Landown Street, or Maxim Place, we can't have a vote today without the 4th member. If you want to wait for a little bit and see if, but I think at this point, it's unlikely that our 4th member is going to make it.
I'll just check it.
You know, if you want to wait a little bit, feel free to do that. We'll hear from the city of Quincy on Willard Street. Again, we won't take a vote today unless someone else shows up, but we can start with that. Okay? Quincy? Okay.
Information here, that's the notice in the paper. This is just the backup from the city of Quincy for the notices, which you need. Good evening, my name is Brian Donahoe. I'm the Vice President of Environmental Services with Goldman Environmental Consulting. I'm working with the city of Quincy on this cemetery expansion project. With me is Paul Quinn from the Director of the Cemetery Parks and Forestry Division, in case there's any questions.
Well, let me read into the record. I mean, even though we're not having a formal hearing just yet, for any questions, this is the notice of intent from the city of Quincy. Project will continue the expansion of the Pine Hill Cemetery to the remaining city-owned land. Consists of an 18-foot wide driveway, drainage, and associated tree and rug removal. It is a notice of intent, and a portion of land is being placed under a conservation restriction to protect the timber rattlesnake habitat. And it's in the only resource area is a buffer zone.
Right.
Okay?
Thank you. So this project goes back almost 2 decades when the city of Quincy began to expand its existing Pine Hill Cemetery. At that point, where they had started working on it in 1962, what's existing there, the state's Environmental Endangered Species Act was put in place. So because this area was designated as wildlife habitat specifically for timber rattlesnakes, the state started to push back on the expansion. And the city negotiated back around 2003, 2002, and really wasn't getting anywhere. So fast forward to about 2013-14, where they decided it was time to start to negotiate in earnest. And we've been working with the Natural Heritage Foundation, Natural Heritage Program, and they're coming to a resolution of what part of the 24 acres left that the city owned could be developed. And make a long story short, about 7.5 acres or so is going to be allowed to be expanded. The city has, with its consultants, negotiated and developed a draft conservation restriction permit. The state's allowing the take of that amount of land of habitat. And the rest of the land, about 24 acres, will be put under a conservation restriction and permanently protected as habitat. So all of that's behind us. We also have gone through the MEPA process. The MEPA process required an archaeological survey and some other environmental issues to be resolved. Those have all been resolved. So the only thing left is the actual notice of intent, the construction of and permission to construct the roadways. Only 350 feet of the driveway is within the buffer zone. All the rest of the project is outside the jurisdiction of the Wetlands Protection Act. So
from our point of view, you've already, our jurisdiction is just for that buffer zone restriction.
Correct.
You've already worked out the arrangements with the state for MEPA and wildlife protection.
That's right.
We'll reference those in any notice of intent.
Another important point for your purposes is the Quincy Conservation Conservancy is going to be the holder of the conservation restriction. And Paul told me that it's 3 weeks from now, there's a meeting to formally get that resolved. And then we go back to Natural Heritage to get the final conservation restriction permit issued. And at that point, probably in June, July-ish, all the permits will be done and the city can start to do the work, provided we have a notice, an order of conditions, of course. Just real quickly, show you. So this is the existing cemetery. The rest of the balance of the properties here, you have the NBC water line, MDLA water line, Wampatuck Road and Chickatawba Road, and Willow Streets out here. This is the area that's going to be expanded into. The roads in this location is outside of the 50 feet, or right on the 50-foot line. We'll be putting up the road control barriers between that first thing. And then the intention is to build this road first, and then the roads up on top of the hill as subsequent phases as the need for cemetery plots comes in. All the stormwater systems will be basically infiltration. Your city engineering department has reviewed everything. They should have given you a note today approving all our calculations in the stormwater plan. I talked to Chen Sang.
We meant today, everyone, review over there.
Yeah.
That's it.
So just to make sure that was
Okay,
clarified.
we'll get that feedback.
Okay. So I guess that's just to keep it brief. If there's any questions about what's going on, I'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, it sounds like our jurisdiction is limited, but the other restrictions will be in place, which is good that they worked that out finally. So I don't have any questions. Anybody else? No. So I think what we're going to do with this is we've opened hearing. We're going to continue it to the next so we can have a formal vote. But does anyone have any questions regarding this? Is anyone here on this? No one's to check out the rattlesnakes?
They're there, I can tell you.
So we'll continue this to our next hearing, but as of now, there's no question.
Would you like us to come back?
Yeah, we do,
Okay.
because we have to have this a formal hearing.
Okay.
Continuation.
Thank you
So
very much.
our next hearing is
First one did,
May 3rd?
I'm gonna check this check. I phone it over.
All right.
Yeah, May 3rd.
So this will be continued to May 3rd, and then we can continue it. On the other projects, I mean, we don't have a fourth member. It's not really useful to, these are minor projects, entryway, mudroom. Edgewater is a little bit more for the raising the house. You know, if you wanted to say something now while you're here, but we're going to have you come back because we have to have a formal vote. Go ahead.
What if you don't have enough members for the next meeting?
We will drag the, we had a couple of illnesses and,
We have one in the hospital, we didn't
yeah,
know
so
about.
we didn't know about that. So we will make sure.
One on vacation, one in the hospital. There is 7 of us.
So usually we haven't had this problem in quite some time. So we'll make sure with some advance notice, and if for some reason we can't, we can continue all these and put them on a date when we know everyone's going to be here. But for right now, that is May 3rd. And Nora will check to make sure that we have.
I always check.
everyone sign up.
that.
Yeah, we were surprised at this. So I don't think it's productive to make a presentation when you're going to have the fourth member hear it. Okay?
Is
Yes?
there a possibility you might have the meeting before the May 3rd meeting?
I mean,
Because I know you're probably holding up.
if there was some emergency, we could try to arrange that. We'd have to give new notices, but since construction on most of these, it's 1 month off, I think it's better we don't try to schedule a separate hearing on this. The notice provision, you'd have to go and make all new notices. You've done your notice for this. We can continue it to our next regular scheduled meeting with no further notices to the community. And And I think that's a safer path to take.
Do we have any emergencies?
I mean, does any of these, no, I mean, it's construction, everybody wants to get it done in the spring, and I don't think any of these are controversial. I don't, is anyone here, let's find that out, because that could tell us something. On 173 Edgewater Drive, who's here, who's the proponent? Okay, is there anyone here that had any questions about that project? Any neighbors? I mean, because that, if we know this is the time they would have had to come, we don't have any opposition. 7 Landown Street is the mudroom. Who's here on that project? Okay. Is there anyone here from the neighborhood that has any questions about it? So you're not going to have any opposition. And 32 Maxim Place is a new entryway. Okay. Is there anyone from the neighborhood that has any questions or? You had some, no? Supporting, okay. Then if people didn't show up today, they're not going to show up on May 3rd to oppose it. We will get these resolved at that time. And we don't have anyone here from the 1 to 3 Newport, which is
Jim Burke.
yeah.
I'm against Newport.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a much bigger project, so that'll get continued as well.
In the next page.
And then the next page, 18 ton.
Oh, I'm sorry, 18 Turn Road is sonotubes for footings on rear deck. Okay. Anyone here from the neighborhood that has any questions about that? I mean, people can show up next time, but this was the time they were noticed. If you're doing these small projects in your neighborhood and no one opposed it and showed up today, we're not going to have any problem getting it approved next month. Okay? So.
I have a question, will we get an answer on conservation next time, because now this backs up the builder and everything?
It does,
Being granted
I know.
all that.
And it rarely happens, but unfortunately, our vote wouldn't count today, because we don't have it, so it's not worth it to have the hearing. We'll have quick hearings next week, because we know no one is opposing these projects next month. And we will make sure, which, I mean, several of these people are healthy and around, we will make sure that we have 4 next month. Okay, Steve?
Yes, having made the submittal for 173 Edgewater, I'd like to officially ask for continuance to the next board hearing
Okay.
date.
Yeah, we're continued to May 3rd. All in favor? Okay. 7 Landown Street, motion to continue it to May 3rd. Favor? 32 Maxim Place, motion to continue it to May 3rd. Okay. Squantum Marsh will also be continued, but you made your presentation, and we'll vote on it then. 1 to 3 Newport, do we have a motion to continue that one? Yes. The Willard Street, you've made your presentation to the city, but we'll continue it for a vote at that time. 18 Turn Road, motion to continue to May 3rd. All right, I apologize for this, but we'll see you next. They said it next. Oh, yes.
About this. Yes, correct. I don't know if I was supposed to be.
That's okay, he made a very good presentation.
Yes, but I'm not